And that was really the beginning of what the dot-com boom era was, when Netscape went public. And so this is really going to be like that 1997 moment for Bitcoin, where we go from the whole phase of, is it real, is it not real, like we saw on the internet in the 90s, to where it becomes absolutely ubiquitous. And the price from here is going to go a lot higher. Said all fiat money returns to its intrinsic value of zero. Well, for 2021, my prediction is 220,000 per coin for 2021. And longer term, really, I say there is no top to Bitcoin because there's no bottom for fiat money. No fiat money in history has lasted. Over the past 300 years, they've all gone to zero.
Max Keiser reaffirms his 2021 Bitcoin price prediction and raises his short-term Bitcoin price he thinks we will see in the next few months. For those that don't know who Max Keiser is, he is a Bitcoin analyst who has been telling us to buy Bitcoin for over a decade. He's seen all the peaks and lows of the Bitcoin space, and in this interview he did last week with Zuby, he confirms what he thinks the Bitcoin price will peak at in 2021, and also his short-term monthly target, which he has gone and raised. Max Keiser has proved himself in the past as the most accurate analyst and predictor of where the Bitcoin price is likely to end up, so it's always interesting to see his predictions. In this video, he argues that even if Bitcoin is similar to the Dotcom bubble back in the early 2000s, this bubble has a lot further to go and there is a lot of money to be made. To watch the full 1 hour interview, check out the first link in the description, a great interview by Zuby. Also, make sure to stick around to the end of the video where we go over how similar the Bitcoin boom is to the Dotcom boom and how much further it has to go. We take a look at the Coinbase IPO going public later this year, as well as some recent data out from Bitcoin analyst Willy Woo and Glassnode, which suggests the Bitcoin price has multiples to go. Also, only a tiny percentage of my viewers are actually subscribed. If you enjoy the video, consider subscribing. It helps out the channel so much. It's free and you can always change your mind. Enjoy the video.
The institutional money is coming in huge. And so now we're at the sweet spot. If you look at it historically, if I go back to the dot-com era of the 1990s, as I mentioned, I started the Hollywood Stock Exchange in 1996. And then in 1997, I believe it was, when Netscape went public. And that was really the beginning of what the dot-com boom era was, when Netscape went public. Mark Andreessen, of course, was Netscape. And what did Mark Andreessen just do this week? He announced the public offering of Coinbase. And so this is really going to be like that 1997 moment for Bitcoin, where we go from the whole phase of, is it real, is it not real, like we saw on the internet in the 90s, to where it becomes absolutely ubiquitous. And the price from here is going to go a lot higher.
Okay. Where do you think it's going to go?
Well, for 2021, my prediction is 220,000 per coin for 2021. And longer term, really, I say there is no top to Bitcoin because there's no bottom for fiat money. No fiat money in history has lasted. Over the past 300 years, they've all gone to zero or lost 99% of their purchasing power. As Voltaire once said, all fiat money returns to its intrinsic value of zero. And this is, we're going to see this with the US dollar. The US dollar is at risk of going the way of the Venezuelan bolivar. Really, it's turning into utter garbage.
Gotcha. So I think I understand what you're saying there, but there's going to be some people who are listening who think, wow, this guy's talking crazy. It's Bitcoin that's going to go to zero. How can the dollar go to zero, right? I have my trust in the dollar. Everyone uses the dollar.
Let me repeat. No fiat money in the past 300 years has escaped going to zero. There's been hundreds of fiat money. The average lifespan of paper money is 27 years.
Okay.
None have survived. The British pound is still around, although it's no longer backed by silver or gold or anything like that. It is purely fiat. And so we can't really say it's been around for the 300 years, but even so, it's lost over 99% of its purchasing power. The US dollar has lost 98 to 99% of its purchasing power. All these other currencies, many hundreds of currencies going back 300 years, have all just been disappeared. They've all been erased from existence. They've all gone to zero. So that's a very strong trend. How anyone could look at that history and say, well, no, the dollar is going to survive. The dollar is worth something. When it's backed by nothing except the Pentagon, as Paul Krugman at the New York Times says, the US dollar is backed by men with guns. Well, guess what? The Pentagon, those guns, they cost a lot of money to keep it gassed up. You know how much it costs to keep the Pentagon at gassed up every day? The jets, the planes, the transportation, all that petrochemical. They spend $250 million a day.
Yeah.
And oh, by the way, we just entered into a secular bull market for commodities. Oil is going up. All the prices of everything going up. So the Fed is like, oh, we're just going to print more. We're going to print more. We're going to print another 10 trillion, 15 trillion, 20 trillion. Well, and then we're going to buy it all back and put it on our balance sheet again. We're going to monetize the debt. We're going to keep doing that. Okay, well, we already see inflation breaking out in the economy right now.
Yeah.
People are noticing it. And it's only going to get worse. So you're going to see the next few months, food and energy is going to be up 30, 40, 50%. Your wages are not going to be flat. They're not going up. They're going to give more coupons, in the mail. I got this from today. The Nielsen company, they sent me a letter, and they put dollars in there. They just put money in there. They put $2 in there because it's worthless coupons. It's garbage, right? It's like it's absolute garbage. Well, the first question is, what is money?
Yeah.
That's the first question. So what is money? Anything can be used as money. People can use anything as money. And as long as a lot of people use it as money, it becomes money. You just said that, right?
Yep. It's based on trust within a community. Okay.
So now we've got a global community of 100 million now using Bitcoin. The first point is that they use it as money.
Yeah.
So they believe it's money. It is money because people use it as money. And that's the first point. In other words, money is whatever people think it is. Whatever the community decides it is, that's money. We know why gold has became money over time, because it has some great properties in that it has very no entropy, right? I mean, an ounce of gold today will remain an ounce of gold for 100 years or 200 years. It's stable in this sense. It's portable, it's divisible, it's fungible, it's desirable, and it became money, and it pushed out all the other versions of it, like beads or whatever. It's scarce. Gold is scarce, relatively scarce. And so for 5,000 years, people used ultimately gold. Even the central banks that are using fiat money, they do settle between them in gold. So we understand why gold is money. It's scarce, it's portable, it's divisible, it's desirable. And if we apply that to Bitcoin, it's absolutely scarce, unlike gold, which is only relatively scarce. Gold is inflating by 2 or 3% a year, so it's not actually as scarce as Bitcoin. It's more divisible. It's more portable. It's unconfiscatable, which gold doesn't have that property. Gold can get confiscated, and it's been confiscated in the past. In 1933, America's gold was confiscated by FDR and put in Fort Knox, right? So gold is confiscatable. Bitcoin is unconfiscatable. It's immutable. It's indestructible. And that unconfiscatable quality, as I've talked to black audiences for 10 years now, is key, because what's the problem with black America is that, or the black community around the world, is that they have their wealth confiscated over and over and over again. And the reason the black community has embraced Bitcoin so powerfully in America right now is because they recognize this is the first form of unconfiscatable money that's been available to them for anybody ever. And so it's gaining huge traction in the black community, as Isaiah Jackson wrote in his book, Bitcoin and Black America. He quotes me in the book several times, because I've been reaching out to the black community for 10 years and telling them, look, Whitey is going to be taking your all day long. It's absolutely true. Whitey is going to be taking your It happens over and over again. And I'm saying the black community, if you want to keep Whitey out of your you put it on Bitcoin. It's unconfiscatable. I can use the W word because I'm white, right? I can use the W word. The W word is okay for me to use because I'm white.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, it's necessary. It's necessary to protect. So it's unconfiscatable. That's not true of gold. So you start building this. You understand what's happening here? It's got all the attributes of gold. It's even better than gold. So then, okay, don't compare it to fiat money, because fiat money is just as we've already discussed. It has no value at all whatsoever. It's printed it has no scarcity whatsoever. They just print it by the trillions. If you look at the M1 money supply, M2, M3. They literally print trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars, and as a result of this, any mistake the government makes, they just paper it over with more paper money.